So today we'll talk about my struggle, which is overthinking. I've been learning a lot more, or leaning a lot more into working on that in myself. I know, like for me, for a long time, and even now, obviously, I struggle a lot with doubt. And it just hit me a couple days ago, like this is the journey that I actually need to go on right now. In regards to stopping overthinking and being able to be someone that takes freaking actions. I'm literally about to start working on an action plan and kind of see where this goes and literally document the whole thing and take you guys on this journey with me because I need it for myself. See what growth I see from it and utilize this to be able to take so much more action in my day-to-day life. So fear, perfectionism. I think perfectionism is one that actually affects me the most. I always want to do everything to like as perfect as it can be. And I know that's been something that's actually stopped me from like making moves on anything. Lack of clarity. These are all things that kind of go into overthinking. Fear. These are all things that have helped me back from kind of being able to jump fully into taking action with things. And so those are kind of like the big highlight points that I'm looking to kind of dive deeper in and build the action plan based off of those things. So like there's three things that my action plan is going to be very focused on. Is going to be clarity, perfection, and overcoming fear. I just feel like everything that I need to do needs to be perfect and be the best representation of myself, which I think that's just kind of like the world we live in now. Again, you see the short Instagram reels and all these things that make it look like life is perfect, but sometimes you have to be willing to put in that messy work or to kind of show that part of you that isn't perfect for people to kind of be able to resonate with you, or for you to be able to find out where your holes are in your game in whatever avenue it is that you're pursuing to be able to evolve and grow. So just getting better at feeling better about going through that process, I know is something that I've struggled with. But I'll get all of it under wraps because I ain't afraid of shit and I ain't no bitch. Fear's not going to be something that'll hold me back. But that perfectionism and clarity is kind of one of the big things. And there were some highlight points in my research, kind of getting ready to build out like my action plan, that I had found that I know as I implement these things into my life, it's going to help me out a lot, because these are kind of like the pitfalls that I fall into when it comes to like lack of planning and direction in certain things, and taking simple steps to move me in the direction that I'm looking to go. Write it down, and recognizing my thought loops. There's certain levels of like thoughts, or certain thoughts that you'll go through that kind of lead you down the path of overthinking and trying to figure out whichever situation, like every single situation in part of getting something started, that'll automatically go on loop. So recognizing like my thought loops that keep me going back to kind of pushing it off, because then it'll start off, let's do it in 5 minutes, then 10 minutes, then next thing you know, an hour goes by and I haven't even made any progress to where I want to go. So writing it down, and writing is something that I've actually been doing a lot lately, and it's been very beneficial. It's just the way it kind of programs or is able to stick to your mind a lot more. Like, it's been a very useful tool for me just over the last couple weeks. I've probably been back to writing consistently for about 2 weeks, because I'll always pick up journaling and meditation and things of that nature, and do it for a few weeks at a time and stop. So this period of time that I've been getting better at writing things down it's been different for me this time, because I can see the change. I understand the reason behind doing it, where before I didn't think I really understood why I was doing it. I was just told it was really good. But the memory recall, the ability to create your vision has been very eye-opening this time around for me, I would say. Allowing these things to like just get out of your head and get onto a piece of paper allows that in itself, creates clarity, and it makes it easier for you to create or come to decisions on things. Then it's like also setting timers. Timers have literally started to become my best friends, like setting a 5 to 10 minute timer to kind of allow myself a second to just really go through the thoughts, the loopholes and everything that kind of goes around with it. And then just at the end of that timer, being able to come to a decision, whether it's something that I go and I make a move automatically, or it's something that I decided, you know what, within that 5-10 minute period, that it might not make the most sense for me to make a move in that direction right now. I'm also trying to get better at all the things that all the self-help books kind of discuss, and that's really getting to the point where I am better at taking the smallest action. I suck at taking the smallest action. Like, all you gotta do is turn on the camera. All you gotta do is pick up the pen. All you gotta do is attend that first class, and it becomes easier to get to the second and the third. Once you kind of throw it in a habit loop, that literally the same thought loop. See, and that's the thing. Like, those habit loops and thought loops, they all go together. It stems back from one action that you initially took, or something that you were told or programmed with growing up, and then it ends up being something that you throw on loop in that procrastination, that idea of perfectionism, that fear, that lack of clarity. These are all things that in some capacity I feel like you are trained into you at some point, that you then, when you become to a certain point, like you're aware, you can start breaking those cycles a lot easier. So like, I think I'm just at a point where I'm becoming aware of how detrimental these things have actually been to me over the years. But it is really funny, because you would think like taking the smallest action, that 2-minute drill, would be one of the easier things, but that had been one of the things that I had struggled with the most. I'm starting it now. We're going to see where it comes, because I think by the end of this, I think I'm going to give like an update, maybe a 30 to 60 day update of like my progress and some of the changes that I've seen in my day-to-day working on building action and cutting out overthinking, utilizing the tools that I mentioned, setting timers, taking the smallest step. I feel like there was something else that I said, and writing it down. So utilizing those 3 things, just kind of seeing some of the growth that I've seen in my life over the next 30 to 60 days in relation to it. I know I've had to learn that it's about building up. Sometimes I think about the smallest action and writing that like first sentence, or going through that first physical step. It's just like, and like all the self-help stuff and all the stuff that you'll see online will tell you, take that first action, then it becomes easy to take that second action. And in my brain, like, there's a part of my brain that tells me like, but that first action, that initial action is just so weak, and there's nothing behind it. Like, it's that perfectionist, like going 100%, seeing the end goal like immediately. That's where I oftentimes find myself tripping out. But again, just getting better, understanding that it is a building process. It is a building process. It is the what is it? The turtle and the hare thing. You know, the thing. It's about being the turtle. All of this is important though, because it allows you to take control of your life, especially if you're like me, like, and feel like you've been in the wind for so long, and you want to take that control of your life. These are small actionables that will allow you to kind of get to that point. So this is why I want to use myself as an example to figure out how to really build a system that'll allow me to take consistent action, no matter like what it is that I want to do, like no matter what the goals that I have in my mind, to then create the life that I desire every day. Helps with like creating structure and like overall building up like a belief in yourself, because as you achieve those goals each and every time, like it just becomes like, okay, I can believe in myself more, I can believe in myself more, I can believe in myself more, and consistently grow and then take on bigger challenges. I think that's the biggest thing. Like you'll believe in yourself to be able to take on bigger challenges as like you consistently wake up and do that work. It also for me makes victory easier. It's like the more consistently you wake up and you start your day with a positive action that will lead you to the visions that you have for yourself. It just allows your days naturally to become more positive consistently. One thing I know I've been doing though is becoming more creating accountability partners. So the people in my life, anybody that's willing to listen at any point, I'm telling them what I want to do within a particular parameter. So I'm not giving, like, I don't know, I'm one of those people who believe like if you tell anybody like your full dreams or your goals or whatever like that, people can take that or block your manifestations. A little weird, but I will tell people kind of just like as an accountability partner, like the core aspects of what I'm looking to do. So then that way I have somebody who I know I've kind of made a promise to, or that I've spoken on, that then they can hold me accountable, even if it's just a simple check-in every once in a while and things like that. It comes in handy. Again, that accountability partner aspect, it was something that I I underestimated, or I never really even knew, granted, until probably about a year ago, how important like having somebody to keep you accountable in some capacity can be so beneficial as far as keeping on track with your goals. So I'll say all this again to say that I'm about to document this journey, see what growth I have, tell me what your process looks like, if there's a particular action plan that you kind of have, so that way you can get up and move and build the life and the visions that you want. So that's it for me today, though, guys. Hit me in the comments. Questions, comments, concerns, like the video. If you have a routine that you're utilizing, just let me know. I'll catch you guys in the next video.